Looks like I'm recording. Alright, on the bench tonight, we've got a 2012 13-inch A1278 MacBook Pro. It's not turning on. So we're going to try and see if we can fix this. First, I'm going to grab some gloves because this was liquid damaged. So pair of gloves because this was damaged by liquid. See if we can't figure it out. Now, just as a quick preliminary thing, we're going to flip the cover off. Could just, well, maybe I won't power it up yet. I'll just take the cover off and we'll have a visual inspection. It's missing a bunch of screws on the bottom, so there's only a couple. According to the person I bought it from, I did purchase this device, knowing full well that it's liquid damaged and it doesn't work. Probably going to get a new bottom cover for it, at least some new feet because it's missing all the feet. So let's take this off. And I can already yeah. Go ahead and unhook the battery. Whoa, the fan was spinning. Was it on? We'll just go ahead and move the battery to the side here. And what I can already see, we have some severe corrosion by our SPI ROM chip, aka the BIOS. See if I can steady it, but if you look right here in this area, right there and right there, right here next to our SPI ROM chip, there's a bunch of green corrosion. So see if I can get that in a little closer for you. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Yep, there it is, all that green stuff. So we'll go ahead and try to just give it a quick clean real quick with some alcohol and Q-tips or swabs, whatever you want to call them. We'll see if we can get it to start up. I have to probably look under the microscope and see how bad that's damaged, the corrosion. I may have to buy a new SPI ROM chip and everything. Hopefully we can save the BIOS, because that would be a whole nother problem if we can't. So we'll just give her a quick clean in this area and see if it'll start. And if it will, then we'll go from there and probably clean it a lot better and ultrasonic the board probably and replace any components that need to be replaced. And if it doesn't start, we'll obviously have to figure out why. Alright, so I'm gonna look under the microscope here and see if I can find any broken traces or components. And so far I don't see anything broken. It's definitely really dirty and there's corrosion all over the place. Hopefully the SMC didn't get damaged. Yeah, there's just a lot of surface corrosion. May have to end up replacing a couple of things here. I don't know what this component is. I have to look up the schematic. Or look up on the schematic and see what that component in that spot is. May have to replace that. Oh no, we're missing a resistor here, so we're gonna have to replace that for sure. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Not sure if I can get all the corrosion off the BIOS or not. I'm gonna have to ultrasonic it. Oh, there's a pin loose. Pin 1 on the BIOS is not attached, like not soldered to the board. Oh, there's my resistor. Oh, cool. There's my resistor that was missing. I don't think I'll be soldering that back onto the board, however. Looks a little corroded and disgusting. Yeah, this is... Yeah, I'm probably going to have to... this BIOS chip's kind of damaged, so I'm probably going to have to get another BIOS IC and reflash it, or put the original BIOS on there and on the new one. Oh, we're going to have to replace this. I don't know if that's a regulator or what. I have to look up the schematic here. Let's see if I can look up the schematic for this. It's a 3115. Let's see, Q5480 is missing a couple of legs, so he is no longer going to work, no longer going to serve a purpose. Let's see if I can go to screen here, my screen. Yeah, that's a current sense, power sense. Oh, that's our P-bus voltage sense and enable transistor. So we're definitely gonna not start if we don't have that. Q5480. Do I have some of those? I think I bought some. So we'll definitely rip him off the board and replace that. And we got quite a bit of resistors, quite a few resistors I should say, that we're gonna have to replace. Yep, we're gonna have to replace a few things. Nothing too crazy, but it's definitely gonna take a little bit of time to clean this all up and get it running again, which is completely, at this point, looks completely plausible. Looks like we might have a broken trace here. We're gonna have to fix. Yeah. This board's a little worse for wear, but it's definitely fixable. Looks like we're missing a component there too. Hopefully we're not missing the trace. We'll have to check the schematic and check another board to see. But yeah, our little transistor is missing a leg, so he's gonna have to go. And our BIOS is probably gonna have to be replaced. Yeah, yeah, this is a mess, for sure. Probably not a repair I'm gonna do right now, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what I'm up against here. But, cleaning her up a little bit, just to start. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to just pull that BIOS off and fix the traces and everything, re-tin the traces to get all the corrosion off the board. I want to make sure I get every single little tiny bit of corrosion off of this board before I go repairing it, because then it'll last a lot longer. I was gonna see if I could just clean things up and get it running real quick, but I'm not so sure that's gonna happen. Yep, definitely gonna have to rebuild this trace. There's a trace over here. That's gone. Our test point, that's gone. We have to replace all these resistors because the end caps are all grayed and disgusting. Probably just gonna windshield wiper this whole area and put a bunch of new components here just to be safe. But yeah, I think our little transistor buddy is definitely missing a leg. Corroded right off, I'm sure. All the other SPI feet or legs are still connected. Just pin one is not. Yep, I'm gonna have to run a wire, jumper wire there to see. See wherever else there's corrosion. It's pretty disgusting. It's not looking too bad now though. I've got a lot of the crap cleaned off. It's nowhere near perfect and nowhere ready to run, I don't think, but it'll get there. We'll get it fixed. Probably at this point pull the board out. I am curious to see what will happen. Actually, with that BIOS leg not connected, I doubt it's going to start. I'll probably throw a blob of solder on there real quick. I doubt it's going to start up though. Probably, if I can even get the solder to stick to the board. Probably not. Oh, it's not stuck. Maybe. This trace gone too. Yeah, dang. Alright, well, I'm going to have to run a couple of wires. This thing is probably not going to start because on pin 1 there is a trace that goes down to a test point and then goes under the SPI, the BIOS chip, and that's test point's gone too. So I'm going to be running two or three wires to get this board running. So this will be like a project for the weekend or something. I mean, I'm not in a hurry. This isn't a customer computer, so I'm not in any hurry to get it running. It wants to run though, so it's trying. So it's definitely, it's going up to 265 millivolts and then shutting back off. So it definitely wants to run. It just can't because there's no communication on pin 1 of the BIOS chip, and there's that little MOSFET. It is missing a leg. We have a resistor that's missing, and then 2 traces that are broken. So I'm pretty sure once we repair those, this board will probably run. So I'll probably just go ahead and take it out of the case and work on it. It's not going to be a quick repair type of scenario. I probably would repair it tonight, but like I said, it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. It's actually, yep, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not sure I want to spend an hour or two that it's going to take to probably solder all that stuff and fix it. Well, I probably could. I mean, this computer obviously has more issues than that. It's T6. These are still pretty good, pretty sought after computers too, like the 2012 MacBook Pro 13-inch Unibody A1278. People still buy these, and they still, you know, if you get them in great shape, they're still worth money, and they run really well. I've got a couple of them that we use, so and it'd be nice to get this board fixed and up and running. So what I'll probably do is, oh geez, I'm sitting here talking and I didn't even switch the screen, I didn't even switch the camera back. That was smart. What I'll probably do is, I'm not gonna repair this tonight. What I'll probably do is another video showing, I'm not gonna, obviously I don't have a microscope camera yet, so I'm not gonna show the process up close, but I will do the repair while I'm recording a video, so then you can actually see how long it takes to fix it, because I think that'd be important. An important aspect is to see one, how long it takes to fix it, and if it gets fixed. That would be kind of cool to see me work on it in a video, and then, you know, the end result, to see it working. That would be a good reason to do that. Keyboard connector, keyboard ribbon cable stuck in here. Okay, what else? Let's see the damage too from below. Take this out. Got our microphone under here. Hello. So gently flip the board over here and DC board. Unhook our microphone, so rip it out of its little housing. Chassis to the side here. Got damage on this side too, maybe. Whoops. Just tore off the microscope there, the mount, microscope camera mount cover. Just pulled it, ripped it off. Sorts of crud in here. Yeah, we'll definitely see this when we're done, so it'll, yeah, looks like we got probably got a little bit of corrosion on this side too. I don't see anything missing. Nothing missing on that side, so that's good. Maybe I'll start pulling stuff off now. Probably take the fan off too, so I don't burn the fan up, melt it. Where other fan screws go. Ooh, dusty. Take the DC inboard off. That thing's pretty filthy too. The mica thing is all brittle and falling apart. Those things don't last. Get a Q-tip and clean that up. Oh, yeah. There goes the rest of the mica thing, or whatever it's made out of. Get all the gunk off this DCN board. Still good. Works. Reuse it. Get it back on. What I think I'm gonna do also, I'm gonna pull the SPI ROM off, and I'm gonna go ahead and dump the BIOS, like make a copy of it and put it on my desktop PC so I can have a copy of it just in case this chip dies, if it isn't dead already. So we'll pull the BIOS off, and I wasn't gonna do any of this now, but I'll just go ahead and pull some stuff off now and fix it later. This poor board. We're just going to pull all this stuff off here and fix it and replace it. Oh, that sucks. The whole entire, ow, burns. Just burned my hand. There's the whole entire BIOS area has been wiped out, wiped clean. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to save this board. Unfortunately, there's a trace that goes under a chip. It's gone completely. I'm just going to throw all of this away except for the BIOS. All this stuff is corroded and no good. I may make this board a donor. I already have some 3115 boards that I could put in this computer if I needed to. Pulled off about 10 or 15 components. Bunch of resistors and a couple caps. A couple of 6-legged chips, like a dual MOSFET little guy. I think that's all of them. I just wiped out that whole area because none of that stuff is salvageable. What is this? Is it? Oh, it's a piece of plastic. Yeah. So now, what we'll do is we'll clean this area with some flux and solder. We'll clean this whole area with new flux, or with some flux and some new solder, and then we can get an idea of what we're working with, like as far as repairability goes. I mean, these boards are pretty expensive, so I guess it'd be in my best interest to fix it, but then again, who knows? Uh-oh. Oh no, my solder's acting up. Come on. Ugh, stinking spools. Got that really tiny 0.21 0.1 or 0.015 millimeter thick solder wire. I just did all that and it did it again. It goes over the side and gets wrapped around the thing and doesn't want to cooperate. Just did it again. Come on now. You're making me mad here. Alright, if you do it again, I'm not going to fix you. Alright. Back to it. Let's clean this up. Whew. I really should have my fume extractor on. Yeah, I can definitely tell that trace is missing. I just hope all the pads for the BIOS are intact. Have to run more wires. This will be the Franken board, like all the wires that I have to run. We're just going to clean all of this. There are pads under there. Luckily. It's going to take a minute to get them cleaned. Just gently scraping. I guess right now my biggest concern is that BIOS chip readable, or is it toast? We're gonna just go through and clean all this up here so we can know what we're dealing with. I cannot see anything with all this corrosion. Well, we brought the pad back on that little, where the 6-pin MOSFET goes, so that's good. Happy about that. SPI pads, or the BIOS pads, are going to need a lot of work, because right now I'm cleaning them, and on some of them, the ones that have the most corrosion, the solder's not even sticking to them. So, but I can see copper underneath, so I know they're there. So this is just gonna need a lot of work. I'm gonna have to scrape and clean and scrape and clean and keep going over it until I get all these pads fixed. So yeah, we're missing a, oh, maybe not. Oh, I might have lucked out. Zoom in a little closer here. Maybe. I might have lucked out and there's still a pad there. Yep, son of a gun. There's still a pad under there. So it's just a test point that I have to fix, which is fine. I'm gonna have to repair that still. Oof, gosh. Alright. I'm gonna get some braid and soak up all this solder that I've been putting down and clean the area and see what we got so far. What a mess. Liking what I'm seeing so far though. This board might actually at some point be repairable and might even work, which would be a complete surprise on my part. Not the worst board I've seen, but this definitely had has a lot of damage just from one little area being corroded. Oof. All right. Let's cut that bad part of the solder braid off and get some swabs here and swab this area up. So yeah, it'd probably take an hour and a half or so, a couple hours to completely fix this. I mean, this video's been running for 40 minutes and you know, I've already got everything taken off. I've got the area somewhat cleaned. I mean, I'll have to go back and clean some of the areas a little better. I want to make sure that I get it, you know, 99.9% of the corrosion off if I can. I don't want to leave any corrosion on here. I mean, I'm going to ultrasonic this board too, of course. That'll get it'll get a good deal of corrosion off as well, but looks good. I fan spin. That's my favorite part. I want to see this thing working. That's what I want. That's what I live for. Take this broken, non-working board and get it running again. Alright, we'll do one pass with the Chem Wipe. No IPA. I think I'm running out in I'm running out of IPA in my little bottle. Got to get the big bottle out. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Okay. Yep, so I'll definitely be running a wire. That pad's there, which is great. Still got some vias that are, some through-hole vias that are a bit corroded that concern me. I'll probably plug those with solder so they stay nice and connected. I'll have to check all these vias that go to the other side of the board and make sure they're actually connected, or if I need to run wires through the holes for them too. There's some damage here. But yeah, that pad is there. That's great. I actually think we lucked out. There's no actual pads missing. Just some broken, where the traces are thin. The corrosion eats those first because there's only a tiny bit of copper. So that pad's partially gone. I'll put a bunch of solder on there too, so it'll strengthen that a lot. But wow, I'm pretty impressed. So I'll have to fix a wire there on pin 1 of the BIOS chip. And this via looks pretty bad. I'll have to see if that one's still connected. That goes to, looks like pin 8 of the BIOS. Definitely have to check that out. Yeah, I'm gonna have quite a bit more cleaning to do, that's for sure. I'll have to run over this with solder and scrape some more corrosion off some of these pads and stuff. Hopefully the SMC hasn't been damaged or got stuff under it. I'll have to redo that. LCD area looks okay. So cool, yeah. To show you the job so far. Clean that whole area there. If you could see it. But you can see that area where there's 8 big pads and then all that stuff is gone now. I just scraped and cleaned all that up. So yeah, I'll just have to pull a donor board out and see if I can't pull them components off and get it fixed. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. This will be a part 1, I guess. I'm probably gonna get out my programmer and take this BIOS chip and solder it on there and see if I can't read the BIOS, make sure it's not corrupt, and make a copy of it just in case. Well, I'm more than likely not going to solder that chip back on there because the legs are chewed up a little bit, so can't really see it. You can see the legs are brown. That's the copper exposed. I don't trust this chip anymore, so I'm going to probably steal one off another board or something and replace it. Anyway, that's it for this, for part 1 of the 2012 13-inch MacBook Pro Unibody that I purchased off Facebook Marketplace. I had a liquid spill event. Hopefully we can get this one running in the next episode. In the next video I'll finish cleaning and replace all these components, and we'll fire it up and see if it works. So I'll see you on the next video. Take care.